Book Snapshot.
Welcome to Book Snapshot, where books meet real life. Today we're diving into one of the most urgent and unsettling books of 2024, The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. This book isn't just about anxiety, it's about how an entire generation of young people is being transformed by smartphones, social media, and the disappearance of real childhood. It's a cultural X-ray of how digital life is reshaping human development. And not for the better. Jonathan Haidt, a renowned social psychologist, makes one alarming claim. The mental health of adolescents, especially girls, has deteriorated sharply since around 2012. What changed in 2012? According to Haidt, that's when childhood moved from the physical world to the digital world. The book argues that a great rewiring of childhood took place in the early 2000s and 10s, quietly, suddenly, and globally, with devastating effects on mental health. This shift created what Haidt calls the anxious generation. Haidt presents overwhelming data, rising rates of depression, anxiety, self-harm, and suicide, particularly among girls, across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and other wealthy nations. These trends align almost perfectly with the rise of smartphones and social media. Notably, between 2010 and 2020, the suicide rate for teenage girls nearly doubled in the US. Hospital admissions for self-harm among girls aged 10 to 14 tripled. Boys also suffered, though the patterns were less extreme than for girls. This isn't just correlation. Haidt brings in psychological studies, brain development research, and sociological evidence to make a compelling causal argument. The smartphone changed everything. One of the book's strongest themes is the idea that childhood used to be play-based, filled with unstructured outdoor time, peer interactions, roughhousing, and gradual independence. These experiences helped kids develop emotionally and socially. But now, childhood is phone-based. Children spend their free time in virtual worlds, scrolling, liking, posting, comparing, lurking, rather than exploring, arguing, solving problems, or climbing trees. Their developmental tasks have shifted from real life to filtered screens. Haidt emphasizes girls tend to suffer more because of the relational intensity of social media. Their social lives become constant performance and judgment. Boys tend to disappear into video games, which isolates them from physical activity and real-world skill development. The adolescent brain is particularly susceptible to harm from digital immersion. Haidt explains that between ages 10 and 25, the brain undergoes massive restructuring, especially in areas related to emotion regulation, self-control, and identity formation. This is exactly the time when teens are now spending up to 8 hours a day online, often engaging with content designed to exploit attention and emotional vulnerability. Some effects Haidt details: reduced sleep quality from screens and late-night scrolling, higher social comparison and body dissatisfaction, especially through platforms like Instagram and TikTok, weakened attention spans, increased feelings of loneliness despite constant digital interaction. Haidt critiques modern parenting as overly cautious and safety-obsessed. In the name of protection, children are often not allowed to walk or bike to school alone. Overscheduled with adult-supervised activities kept indoors, on screens, to stay safe. Yet paradoxically, this constant monitoring may be increasing harm. Children no longer get chances to take risks, make mistakes, and build resilience. Haidt calls this a decline of anti-fragility. Kids aren't getting stronger from stress. They're getting weaker from avoidance. This leaves them unprepared to handle normal adolescent challenges, let alone the chaos of a hyper-connected world. Haidt doesn't just blame the technology itself. He goes deeper into the mechanics of social media platforms. These apps are engineered to maximize engagement through infinite scrolls and dopamine hits, reward superficial validation through likes, shares, and comments, push users toward polarizing, extreme, or unrealistic content, He describes how adolescent girls, in particular, are affected by what he calls the compare and despair spiral. A girl posts a selfie, waits for likes, compares her body to influencers, deletes the photo, feels shame, and repeats. For boys, the danger lies in isolation and digital addiction, often leading to stunted social development and chronic loneliness. Haidt offers concrete, research-backed recommendations for parents, schools, and policymakers. Delay smartphones until at least age 14. Flip phones or basic phones are preferable during early adolescence. Delay social media use until at least age 16. Kids need a strong sense of self before engaging with platforms that challenge identity. Create phone-free schools. This helps reclaim attention, reduce anxiety, and encourage face-to-face interaction. Restore free play and independence. Encourage outdoor play, unsupervised time, and activities that build confidence and resilience. Support collective action. No parent wants their child to be the only one without a phone. Haidt encourages parents to form wait-until groups and collaborate to change norms. He also calls on lawmakers to regulate addictive design features in apps and ensure companies are accountable for youth mental health impacts. In the end, the anxious generation is both a diagnosis and a blueprint. It's a warning about the unintended consequences of rapid technological adoption and a guide to repairing the damage, not by rejecting technology, but by using it wisely and delaying its influence during the most vulnerable years of life. Jonathan Haidt doesn't offer platitudes. He offers science, urgency, and hope. The anxious generation doesn't have to stay that way. But change begins with awareness, and then courage. If this summary helped you understand what's really behind rising teen anxiety, like, comment, and subscribe to Book Snapshot. Drop your thoughts below. When should kids get their first phone? Let's discuss it together. And don't forget, we break down the most powerful books every week to help you grow, learn, and think deeper.